going? Scooty here, and today I'm going to be making a video that goes along with my Steam guide for how to make the Cloak and Dagger useful. Now, a lot of spies consider this watch to be the camper watch, or just, whatever, this watch sucks. But I personally like this watch. I use it a lot more than I think most spies do. Obviously, my favorite is the Invis watch, but yeah, it's probably my second favorite, because, you know, Dead Ringer, it's good. I mean, at least for pubbing, but, you know. My sounds are all laggy, that's weird. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go over the technical stats for the Cloak and Dagger. You can be indefinitely cloaked while standing still, which means you'll never run out of cloak as long as you're not moving. When you are moving, it drains 25% quicker than the Invis watch. And it cannot be refilled by any source of ammo. That means ammo packs, fallen weapons, nothing like that. Now actually, to demonstrate this, let me go turn off constant resupply really quickly. Okay. So as you can see, it runs out a lot faster than a regular Invis watch. And I'm going to go over the times that it takes to cloak, to decloak, how other players see it, how you see it, and also the times while cloaked. So, when you're constantly running, the maximum cloak time is 6.2 seconds without the Litron J. Which means for all the way from back there to here, 6.2 seconds. I'm not counting when it's half invisible, when you're fully invisible, like as soon as it runs out at the bottom. That's it, 6.2 seconds. Okay, now with the Litron J, let me throw it on. And let me go resupply. Let me snag, boom. With the Litron J, your cloak is 8.5 seconds long, which is half a second less than the standard Invis watch, which I'd always use it with the Litron J. As you can see, it's a lot slower drain, and it also still has the cloak ability where you can stand still. Now, constantly crouch walking without the Litron J is 60 seconds, so I'll just keep it on. And constantly crouch walking like this with the Litron J, it'll last for about 84 seconds. So yeah. Now, in your perspective, your HUD, I guess you could say, the time it takes to cloak until from non-invisible to fully invisible is about 1 second. But other players see it as 1.2 seconds. This isn't very... I mean, I guess you could say, oh, okay, it takes 1 second to fully cloak. That's all you really need to know. But, you know, just technical stuff. And to decloak with this watch for you, it takes 2.2 seconds. But other players, when you decloak, only see it as 1.8 seconds. Which is kinda, you know, kind of important, not really. And when it's fully empty and you're not cloaked, it takes exactly 15 seconds to fully recharge, which is considerably faster than this watch just recharging on its own. So yeah. Because of the Cloak and Dagger's relatively short cloak time, people think, you know, like I said earlier, it's impossible to do anything, which is really just not correct at all. In a second, I'm going to show you some clips, and I'll add some commentary over with examples of me using these watches in all types of situations. So yeah. Alright, so here we are in Upward, and I have that exact same loadout, Litron J, Knife, and Cloak and Dagger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to disguise. I'm not going over there, because that's a lot of spam. And I'm going to Cloak. Now, to get past the enemies right now, I'm using Litron J, which will help a lot. But you can't just keep cloaking and walking when walking and walking. You need to uncloak as soon as possible. Like right there, most spies would not have uncloaked right there. They would have kept going until the health pack or their cloak ran out. Also with the Litron J, 3 hits fills your cloak pretty much, so that's always good. To be aggressive with this watch, how I am, you need to have cloak conservation. There's no way you can do it without conserving your cloak. Just like that, I just cloaked on his side, and I still have plenty of cloak left, especially with the Litron J. Like I said, it's generally a lot easier to use with this watch. And also another thing to note, at close range, the Litron J still kills 125 HP classes in 3 shots. Right there, I just shot at it just so it'd, well, die. And right here, I'm using the ability. No one saw me because I was standing still, and there you go. I can just keep going on my way instead of running out of cloak and, you know, having the possibility of someone see me. I don't want to sap it first, or at least do the dispenser, because it's not really that important. Now he thinks I'm going that way, so I can just stand still for a sec, recharge some cloak, and walk away. Now he's spy checking everywhere. Right here, I'm just going to stand. He's going to go the wrong way. And instead of running out of cloak, possibly, I can just stand still. Like I said earlier, you have to conserve your cloak and use it wisely. And I'm good. So like I said, if you use it right, you have basically infinite cloak, just like that. So yeah, I'll go on to the next example in a second. I kind of just want to kill this Engie though. I don't know where he is. Uh oh. That was beautiful. I'm proud of that one. Okay, anyway. I think I'm about done with this clip. Let me just... one more kill, how about that? Just for fun. All these trolls just running around. Well, I could've got that too. He has a kunai. Probably a dead ringer as well. So yeah, alright, next example. Okay, back at spawn. Now one more thing I wanted to add to the last part I just did is you basically want to use this watch like the Invis watch, especially with the Lotron J. That sounds kind of dumb, but I'll explain it all throughout the rest of this video. You want to use it like the Invis watch. You don't want to sit here in the corner and wait for someone to walk past you. Like I said, as you saw, it just worked quite well. Only use its ability when in trouble. Like, you know, when there's 4 or 5 enemies running around. It generally works out quite nicely. See, just like that. I stood still, they thought I was going down there, they spy checked everywhere but right there. So, yeah. And I'm just gonna talk about this watch a little more. Why people call it a camper watch, and how that wasn't a backstab. People generally think that, you know, this watch is just sitting down on defense waiting for a good stab. And, you know, it does work. It really does, but it's boring, 1. And 2, you're generally not helping your team if you only get 1 stab per round. So, yeah. Okay, here I am back on walkway. But anyway, like I said, most of you would probably thinking by now, why not just use the regular Invis watch? And there's a lot of reasons for this. Oh, well, I messed that up really badly. One of the main reasons people use this watch is for intel. Because say you're on the battlefield, you can just sit down, relax, and observe your enemies. You can tell, especially in a competitive format, which is mainly when I use this watch, you can sit down and just tell your teammates where the enemies are going. Like say, for example, you know, you can, if you're just sitting waiting for a pick, and there's an NG and a pyro on the cart, you can tell your team that. Yeah, you can do this with the Invis watch, but generally you're a lot more pressed for time. Especially with the Lotron J, this watch gives you just a lot more time. I can't in, but yeah. Another reason is all those fancy illusions. Especially in more experienced players, most spies use Dead Ringer or Invis watch. It's just kind of a fact. I mean, every player that has experience with spy knows this. Dead Ringer, yeah, it's nice, run up to the enemy, get hit in the face with a rocket and live, but, you know, most experienced players are going to know that you Dead Ringer. It's generally really obvious. And they'll, you know, eventually hunt you down, especially if they're a pyro, and then you're out of cloak, and yeah, you're dead. The Invis watch, a lot of players know all the basic Invis watch jukes. You know, like, oh, I have Invis watch, the sniper's gonna get me, sit around the corner, go this way. At least from my personal experience, once I cloak around the corner and go back, they'll check the corner, turn around, and then still kill me because I'm walking away, and they'll just shoot because they know it's kind of just a thing you learn with experience. Well, with the Cloak and Dagger, what you can do is you can go like this, back up, cloak. Who the hell is going to expect that? At least experienced players, at the very least, say, you know, I'm a soldier right now, I'm shooting at you, you go around the corner, cloak, you're not here, and I know and I'm an experienced player, so I'm going to assume you went back. Especially when you're playing spy, you know all the basic spy jukes and all that. But the Cloak and Dagger, it's kind of like, basically, like, the enemy's just not gonna expect it. You have to do the unexpected. That's what the spy is all about. So, yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna go word for word on every single thing in my guide, like all the triple million fucking mind tricks you can do with the C&D, but yeah, I've gone pretty much over most of the important parts, and I'll probably just go over a few tips right now. So, yeah. In case you didn't know, the C&D actually has a louder decloak noise to the world compared to the Inviswatch. So it's very important you use cornies, like especially when being aggressive with this watch. You don't want to just cloak out of the line of sight because it's easier to hear. So use corners a lot when cloaking. Ah, this lag. Okay, sorry. But yeah, even if you're really low on cloak, really low, and even if you have to crouch walk to get around that corner, it's worth it because your watch will recharge faster and the enemy won't hear it. So yeah, be very careful with that. You might think, oh, it sounds the same on my screen, but it's not. It is louder. So yeah. Another thing you can do is, well, if you happen to just be out of cloak and you can't stand still, one thing you can do is use this cloak sound to your advantage. It sounds kind of stupid, but people do it with the Dead Ringer all the time, especially for trick stab. Like say I have Dead Ringer, I decloak right here, the pyro looks to his right, I'd go to his left and trick and stab. You can use this with the C&D, but you can also use it to escape. So say, like this, Cypress walking away, I ran out of cloak. He turns, I can go like this, juke back, and I'm invisible, and I can recharge my cloak. So that's, honestly, I use that a lot more than you'd think actually. Like once you get used to the Cloak and Dagger, you can do so many cool illusions. And honestly, they're a lot more advanced. Well, I wouldn't say more advanced, but they're not really heard of. They're not seen. No one does them, so no one's gonna ever expect it. So that's always good. And every once in a while, you should wait for a stab, but not always. Mainly in a competitive format, you might wanna wait for a stab if you know the enemy medic has full Uber and you know where they're gonna come from. Yeah, it's alright to wait for a stab, but don't do it the entire round. And like I said, waiting for a stab and all that is generally more competitive play. But for more lower level spies like steel, iron, silver, maybe even some gold, because I don't ever see anyone really in comp use this watch. So yeah, you just generally want to wait for the stab. I mean, obviously, like I said, don't do it the entire round, but if you got nothing better to do, they're pushing, and you want to get that medic, use the watch. And that's pretty much it I have for this guide. I went almost over, can't talk, over almost everything in the guide except for more of the advanced mind tricks, because, kind of annoying to talk about, to be honest, but hopefully they're not too hard to read in the guide. And yeah. And I just wanted to thank you for either viewing this on YouTube, like straight from the YouTube site, or from the Steam link, or from the YouTube link in my Steam guide. Either one is cool, and if you can, like the video, spread it, blah blah blah. I'm putting this guide up around 8,000 views. I probably should have made this earlier. Like I'm adding this video and it's about 8,000 views, 7,000, 8,000. What is it? Here, let me check really quick. 7,576 views is when I'm putting this video up. So yeah, if it's still around that view count, it's probably quite recent, so you're probably one of the first ones to see this. But if not, that's a good thing. That means plenty of people have seen this video, have learned from it. I personally learned from live examples, and but yeah, that's the end of the video for this guide. Thank you for reading, thank you for watching if you just watched it, and thank you if you did both. So yeah, peace out.